Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like.
Yeah. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blonde Psychic channel. I am Donna the Blonde Psychic, and today I'm talking to you, or doing a pick a card about the Salem Witch Trials, what they have to do with today's women in society, sharing a bit about them, sharing a bit about my ancestor that was part of the Salem Witch Trials, and doing this pick a card to actually purge that energy and not only educate you about the Salem Witch Trials, but tell a story about how it fits in today's society, how we treat women in today's society. So how back from the 1600s to today, it actually, the way we treat women is very, very similar. It hasn't changed. But I will get into all of that. I also will be doing a pick a card reading and channeling your story and finding out how your story actually relates to the Salem Witch Trials. Have you actually got an ancestor or an unhealed trauma within that scenario? Or have you just got a story to tell? Have the witches, can they be channeled through? Can anyone, as a part of the proceedings, be channeled through this and the story come out? So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm educating you on their story, on their lives, bringing them back to lives and honouring them as well. And I actually want to find a little poem to read to honour them and their memory, because they were all innocent women just charged being witches, and they weren't even witches. They were just poor. But we will get into that, okay? So I really hope you enjoy this reading. Please go ahead and check out my new website that I've designed for you for spiritual jewelry, spiritual merchandise, my tarot decks, some tarot decks I've ordered, spiritual crystals, candles, and you can even book a in-depth reading with me on there from $20. So hope I can connect with you. Hope you enjoy this pick a card. I'll see you in your group if you want to jump through everything, but please go ahead and watch the history and how my ancestor actually inspired this whole pick a card. Okay, so we're going to start by reading a little bit about their honor and giving back to them, honoring their memory, proclaiming their innocence, and talking about a little poem that I found that actually I want to speak out loud to you. And you can close your eyes and do this with me if you want. And remember that they were all innocent men and women. Even 2 dogs got put down or killed, which is really sad. And it is a sad event that happens, along with many other sad events that happen in this world that we're living in, when people don't understand, people are different and come from different cultures and backgrounds, and everybody's needs are different, and the way they're brought up and their mental health is different. But they weren't so educated back then as they are now. So we are pretty lucky to be living in the era we're in now, where mental health is so widely accepted and people aren't judged so much, but still sometimes fairly unjust. So we have come a long way in understanding new things, but we're still heavily judged in today's society, which is another problem on top of another problem on top of another problem. And we don't have time to get into all of these problems today. But let's talk about the Salem witches, honor their memory. I'll do a brief history about them and how they relate to today's society. I will then talk about my ancestor and try and purge some of his karma that has been passed through down my bloodline, which made me make this video today. Otherwise, I don't think I would have touched on it, to be honest. But hopefully this shed some karma, giving back through selfless acts, by letting your story be heard, by letting their memory be shared, and hopefully you can relate to this picker card, and hopefully you can get something out of it. So in Salem, they actually built some benches because they don't even know what happened with the bodies. They built some benches for all of the victims and put their name and the date they died. This is a bit of a poem to honour and remember them. The memorial is a small plot of land. Locust trees shade the benches built with broken stone, because apparently they were hung from locust trees. The threshold reads, "My life lies within your hands." Bridget Bishop hanged June 20th, 1692. Each bench conceals a body that's not there, an absence. I am wholly innocent of such wickedness. Once memorialized in a hole on Gallows Hill, the land. Sarah Good hanged July 19th, 1692. You're told it is now a playground. Look, understand, I can deny it to my dying day. You must read the threshold, touch each stone with your hands. Rebecca Nurse hanged July 19th, 1692. You're a trespasser into someone else's past, and I am no witch. Still memory is nothing but this cold dirt, a plot of land. George Burroughs hanged August 19th, 1692. The voices are interrupted by the rock wall circling the sand. Oh Lord, help me. Listen, wait on the threshold in your hands. John Proctor hanged August 19th, 1692. You hold your notebook, your camera to record history. Later at home you can fast forward to the past, and you'll remember nothing but the story's plot. No land where the threshold reads, the past is all lies written in your hand. It's beautiful that they have some of the poem quotes and have turned it into a poem. Proctor's Ledge Memorial in Salem. I wish I could go visit it, but I don't have the means to do so. So I will honour their memory through what I just read to them, by bringing their memory alive, giving them some justice as such, telling their story, relaying and saying sorry for my ancestors' actions, and doing a pick a card for you to understand and educate yourself on your mental health and the injustice that was served in the 1600s and the injustices that are still happening today in 2022. We honour the witches and the people that gave their lives. We honour their memory and we clear them of any innocence or wrongdoing. We cannot undo what man has done in the past, but we can say sorry. We can honour your memory. We can tell of your bravery. We can relive your memory and moments and telling of your life by the honour and sharing of wisdom to not let it happen again. We know you were just unjust and you didn't deserve the punishment that you were given and the label of witch in which you were not. We apologise for my ancestors' actions and mistakes. We cannot undo the wrongs that have been done to you, but we share and honour your lives and your service. And we apologise your lives were taken in vain and they were not educated enough to have the knowledge and the in-depth knowledge of the difference of societal norms. Please take our forgiveness and we honour your memory once again. Amen. Let's just give them a bit of a moment to let that sink in. Okay, so now we want to talk about a brief history of the Salem Witch Trials, what they endured, and how they relate from the 1600 society judgment and today's societal judgment. So the first woman, and I want to bring up some women, especially Bridget Bishop, because she was the first woman put to death, and I read her story in depth. And I related to her story. I related to all the women's story, but I'll get into that. Trust me. So Bridget Bishop was the first woman put to death. And a bit of history about Salem in the 1600s. You were cast into two categories. Sorry, men and women were cast into two different categories, and families were cast into two different categories, rich and poor. There was something called an Eve syndrome, in which, well, that's what I've labelled it, Eve syndrome, in which women of the time came from Eve, you know, Adam and Eve. Women came from Eve, and they were to obey their husbands. They were to obey and be good mothers, caregivers, providers, and go to church, be good homemakers. That was their role within society at the time. That was it. Now, if any of these women stepped out of these roles, they will be seen as out of the norm, as rebelling, as wicked, as evil. And this is the prejudice that was passed on to women, especially women who weren't rich, but some rich women were still targeted, especially if they stepped out of those normal labels. They were charged with being a witch as well. But the women that were categorized, which were sought after, were mostly from a poor background. They didn't have the means to survive. They didn't have the upbringing. They didn't marry into wealth. They were just poor, and that was their only crime, being poor and not conforming to the rules of society at the time, not being stuck in that Eve syndrome. So they were outside of that norm. Not only were they poor, their behaviour was acting immorally. And this was in the 1600s, don't forget. So they were poor, they were not following the Eve syndrome. Bridget Bishop, she is probably the one I'm only going to speak about a lot, but I do honour all of their memories, and I apologise for all of their memories. But Bridget Bishop actually was the first one put to death. She was married 3 times. She was poor. She didn't dress appropriately at the time, so she was described as dressing tropical, or in a tropical nature. Maybe she showed flesh. Maybe she, didn't wear or conform to the standards of the time. But it was described as tropical, so I'm interested to know about what that looked like. She was loud. She was broody. She led with her masculine energy. She was a beautiful, strong woman who voiced her opinion and went for what she believed in and did what she believed in and did what she wanted to do. She drank in pubs. God forbid she drank in a pub. She was loud, obnoxious, and I love that about her. I love the character that she would have been. She would have been such an interesting soul. She would have been brought up through traumatic circumstances. She would have not learned how to love appropriately, so she poured love into these men she was chasing. But eventually she ended up pouring love into herself because she created such a masculine role model within herself that she took care of herself in a sense. Now, that is not conforming to the Eve syndrome of the time. Way out of norm. So, of course she was targeted, along with all the other women who were poor and, didn't conform to the times, the structure of the society at the time. So she was found guilty of being a witch. She wasn't a witch. She was just poor and loud. And it felt like at the time the people of Salem wanted to wipe out people who didn't conform to the society of the time and were labelled as witches and going against God and going against the norm of society. So they were found guilty of doing the devil's work of witchcraft, which is crazy. And we understand it today, but back then they didn't understand it. And she pled her innocence to her dying breath. She never admitted she was guilty. She wasn't guilty. None of them were guilty. Some of them blame it on the wheat, the rye and the wheat, and it sent some women mad, and that may have been the case, but I think it was just trying to wipe out the problem of the poor woman, and women leading each other astray and being loud and standing up for themselves and wanting to be heard and have a voice. So they labeled them as a witch, cast them aside, killed them, and that's it. They were gone. They were taken care of. They were wiped out. That's a really harsh way of dealing with the problems of the poor at the time. Now, how that fits in with today's society is that I read an article, and I've forgotten the article. It's on my TikTok. I will credit it down below. I apologize. I read an article about how the Salem witches were treated and how it conforms to today's society as well, by taking advantage of labeling vulnerable women. And that is very, very true, because I am a vulnerable woman as well. I once was a vulnerable woman. I don't find myself being a vulnerable woman still. I find myself being totally transformed and living a different life. But I did conform to the Salem story. If I was alive in the 1600s, I would have been hung by a tree as well. I would have been called a witch. I would have been, well, I am a witch, but I'm a white witch, and it stems back to my origin life. So that I would be saying, yeah, I'm a witch, and I'm going to put a fucking spell on you and come back and cut your head off and haunt you till your dying day. That's what I would have said. But that's okay. We're getting off topic now. So the way it relates to today's society is, if you're a poor person, this is the example story they gave. Women are still labelled today as good and bad women. If a teenager is getting abused at home by her father, mother, anybody that she's in the home with, runs away from home because she's getting no help at home and she's scared, she falls into the trap of living on the streets, maybe doing substance abuse, maybe going into prostitution, maybe stealing. She's going to end up doing one of these things. And that puts her in a downward spiral. If she got the help she needed in the first place, she wouldn't fall into the trap of the downward spiral. She's a vulnerable woman. And the judicial system in America especially is just taking these vulnerable women, not thinking about their traumatic past or where they've come from or what's caused them to go into the spiral in the first place. And they're just given jail time, given rehab programs, given whatever sentence they're given, without any thought as to leading up to why that happened in the first place. So women are being called or labelled vulnerable or bad and not getting the help they needed. And this still relates to the 1600s as women being vulnerable and bad, but they got the extreme punishment of being hung for that crime, for being vulnerable and bad, for not having the means to survive, by not following the Eve syndrome of traditional role maker and mother. And this is still happening in today's society. Now, I'll tell my story as well, just to relate, and maybe you can relate, maybe you cannot. Maybe it's a different circumstance, but mine's pretty extreme. So this is as extreme as it gets. I was in a violent marriage. I couldn't get away for 3 years. Every day was a survival test. Every day was beaten arguments or control. The control we're talking about here was following me from room to room, taking my possessions off me so I couldn't ring anyone, or get a taxi and leave, or get up and leave. It was following me to the bathroom, watching me bathe, following me outside when I wanted to play with my dogs. It was extreme control. I've had beer bottles thrown at my head. I've had beatings, black and blue. I've turned up at work the next day with beatings, black. I was beaten black and blue. You name it, I've been through it, okay? But I survived. And my sheer willpower was just to survive, for myself to survive. I had 4 children at the time. They were 10, 5, 3 and 1. Sorry, 2 and 1. My 10 and 5-year-old went with their father. That was no problem. The youngest two's father wasn't appropriate to look after them, so they went with a family member. I let them go with their family member so I could get them out of the environment and look after their means while I was trying to get out of the environment. Because I got out of the environment 3 times, but he kept finding me and bringing me back in. And if you're saying, why'd you go back? Sometimes you have no control about going back. You're so brainwashed and you're so controlled by the situation, you know no different. And that happened for 3 years. Now, take a breath. It's getting a bit deep now. So I lost everything basically. My children were gone. My dignity was gone. I was merely surviving. I was a vulnerable woman, yes. But did I let that stop me from surviving? No. I still soldiered on and survived every day and hoped that one day I would get out and get better and make a better life for myself. During this time, the government intervened, took control of my 2 youngest children, and to this day, they grew an emotional attachment to the family member that was looking after them, and they cut my visiting hours down to 1 hour a month, and eventually that just lapsed because I didn't know who I was anymore, and it just grew distant. It was easier to let them go and break the emotional bonds because I knew that I would never have them. I was never able to be their mother again because it was already too broken. I tried and I tried and I fought and I fought. Once I got out of the situation I was in, the marriage that I was in, and I was a vulnerable woman at the time, definitely was. It was too late though. The emotional attachment had gone, not only for them, but for me. I loved them deeply and I knew I wanted them and wanted to be their mother, and I created them and I carried them and I wanted to be their mother so desperately. But that had been ripped away from me. My rights to be a mother had been ripped away from me, purely for me being selfless and getting them out of there in the first place when I couldn't even get myself out. And I did fight for them for years and years and years after I got out of the marriage, after I was in a safe place with a new house. He was in jail. He wasn't bothering us anymore. Everything was good. And this was only 2 or 3 years ago. But the court had already labelled me as a bad mother or a bad person and constantly threw my past in my face. I went for custody again. Not good enough. Too much has happened. No emotional attachment. You name it, they brought it up from the past. I was labelled. Just like everyone out there probably is, the label is there. You can never escape that stigma. You can never escape the labeling. You're a bad person or a bad mother in my case. And I never got custody of my children again. I still don't see them to this day. I see my oldest children when they can be bothered and when they can come in and out, but the damage has been done there as well. The emotion, the attachment that's created as a young child into childhood, into teenagehood, into adulthood has gone. Always love them deeply, care for them deeply, but again, I even have to cut off that emotional want because it just haunts you every day. But the story here is of the stigma of being labelled a bad person when sometimes you have no control over your circumstances. And this is what this article talked about. The women of the 1600s were also categorized into being bad people, and the stigma of being a bad person was there, and they were labelled, but it went one step further, and it resulted in their being called a witch and being put to death for not conforming to the societal norms of the day. So we really need to educate people, and we really need to think about especially changing the judicial systems, the judgment that the court has on you. Yes, mistakes were made, but what have you done to rectify that? How are you living now? Have you been repeating the same patterns of behavior, or are you in a totally different way of lifestyle, living your lifestyle a different way? Have you learned from the past and have you changed? None of that is looked at. You're just judged on your past, and that really is not fair. That really is tarnishing us and labeling us as bad and calling us witches, and might as well burn us at the stake as well, because that's the level of lowness that the judicial system puts on people. Like they have no hope, like they have nothing, like they are nothing, like they can't escape their past. And if you're not strong and you don't rise above that and know that you are worth everything you want in this life and you are strong enough to bring yourself like a phoenix out of the ashes and rise, even though you've lost so much, and the desire is always there to want what you had. But you have to get to a place of acceptance and knowing that you can't have it, but you need to go on living your life. That is where the transformation happens, and that's where they lose their power of the bad woman label. Some people are not strong enough to bring themselves out of this. They wallow in the hopelessness of the past, in the labeling, in the constant doom and gloom of their past. This is why we want to educate people. This is why we want people to get better and know that there is hope out there and they can transform their lives and be whatever the fuck they want to be. That is beautiful. I need a moment again because that was some heavy talk. But I hope you can see how that relates to the Salem women of the 1600s and today's women in today's society. I hope you get it. Let me know in the comments if your story is similar, and if you want to help spread awareness too, because this story needs to be told and this movement needs to happen, and the judicial system needs to change, and something needs to happen in order to help victims, help vulnerable women who were in a situation similar to me and probably yourself, and not let it get to a point where it has for me, the women of the Salem Witch Trials, and probably hundreds of other women out there. Injustice has been done. How do we right that? Yes, we can do the work on ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, and get ourselves to a stronger place and living a better life today, but how do we let the world and the judicial system, especially the governments of the world, know that it's not okay to treat women like this? Let me know your comments below. It makes for an interesting topic. Okay, what I want to talk about now is my ancestor and what he has to do with the Salem Witch Trials. I'm getting more comfortable because I feel like we're close friends now. I feel like, hey, how are you? We can sit and chat. So, my ancestor's name is John Hathorn. It's spelt differently, but it's Hathorn. Now, he was from England and he emigrated to Salem in the 1600s, and he was a judge. He was actually one of the first judges that judged the Salem Witch Trials, and that actually got affidavits and evidence against the Salem witches. He did a lot of bad work. And that work that he did, that trauma that he caused, those lies that he spread, have actually spread through my How you going, Brad? My bloodline, and have spread down and passed down through the generations. But none of my ancestors have actually acknowledged this and healed it. That's what brought me to do this pick a card, to bring awareness to the situation, the way women were treated back then, treated today. And a lot of it stems from my own very ancestor. Thank you very much, John Hathorn. Do not appreciate it, but I wasn't there at the time. I can't judge. I can't pass judgment. I can only accept. Can't change the past. Can't control people. Only the way you react to it. So, I have learnt from him to purge and not pass judgment so quickly. I've got to a space within myself that I am vibrating so high that I would just cut off anybody who wasn't vibrating on my level. But I've had to learn from doing this healing work, especially this ancestral healing work, and having deities come in and work with me at the time, that I cannot be so quick to pass judgment. I need to allow the person like yourself who doesn't know any different. You may even be a vulnerable man or woman. And I need to not pass judgment on you, even if you're not vibrating on my level. And I have to educate you and help you understand that you can get to this level and you can make your life better. This is what I was doing. I was just cutting off anyone who wasn't at my level. But this experience especially has helped me learn that I need to give people more of a chance, and I need to be more patient with people. And even though I can see your potential and the kind of person that you can be and the kind of life that you can live, but I have to help you make tiny little progressive steps towards becoming that person. This has helped me understand people on a great deal, a great even keel kind of and such. Now I've got like 100 words flying through my head and they're not transmuting out of my mouth. Blonde psychic for a reason, okay? So it's helped me understand better patience and knowing I can't cut people off. I need to help keep on doing my service to humankind, educating and bringing awareness to you and your situation. Okay, now I've got that little spiel out the way. So I have learnt from this. I am honouring the women that was my ancestor helped put to death. I am apologising on his behalf. I have accepted I can't change the past, but can continue my selfless work and learn from it. And this is why I'm doing this pick a card as well. I'm bringing awareness to the situation. Also, what else? There was another thing. So, I apologise once again on behalf of my ancestor. I hope the Salem witches, or the women of Salem, men of Salem, and the dogs that were put to death can forgive me and forgive my ancestor for what he's done. I do honour your memory, and I hope you can see that I'm purging this energy of the karma that my ancestor has created. And hopefully we can never let anything like this happen ever again. Okay. Now, we've done all that. We are ready to jump into the picker cards, and I am so excited to do this picker card reading. I will jump into your groups next, give you an option of an object, and then we'll jump into the picker cards. Please let me know how you like this video, and did it touch your heart as much as it touches mine? Let me know in the comments, okay? Much love. So it's 2 a.m. We've been playing around with the ghost. Oh, that's Ali, by the way. You've seen her on my channel before.
Yes, I'm her lovely stepdaughter.
There's a fly, that's annoying. 2 a.m. and we've been playing around with the ghost apps that we've been playing with, thinking we'd get nothing, and
we got a lot.
we're about to upload a video where Rebecca Nurse actually was put to death by my ancestor John Hathorn. She actually speaks, and she's been speaking to us all night, and we actually got a really decent conversation out of her. So,
and we talked to a little child around 5 to 9 years old, and he was scratching on the walls trying to scare us.
So have a watch of the next video. It contains Rebecca Nurse, and she's very clear on who she is and how she died. Have a listen.
You'll feel very much to the soul, and you'll feel very bad for what she went through, because it's pretty clear on what she said.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
Have a watch. Okay. Can you please tell us your name again? We have been chatting with Rebecca Nurse. Damaged. You have been damaged, yes, we understand that. Your life was taken unfairly, we get that. We're talking to Rebecca Nurse from the... Oh, she was hung by the throat. Wow, thank you for confirming and talking to us, Rebecca. This is amazing. This is Rebecca Nurse from the Salem Witch Trials. She was falsely accused of being a witch.
20 years later, they realised she was not guilty.
Yeah, so she was exonerated. So I'm glad
Make a noise, Ethan.
Ethan.
What did it say before that?
Make a noise.
Make a noise in Ethan.
Yeah.
What do you mean by make a noise?
And who's Ethan? I am researching her story as we're reading this. One of my direct descendants, John Hathorn, is one of the magistrates that found Rebecca guilty, and I'm sorry for that.
We're very sorry for what you had to go through.
And I'm trying to bring awareness to her story through this. We just looked at her homestead. It's beautiful, and she has been saying all night, basement, sink, attic, haunted, danger.
Rebecca, if you could please answer me why you said make a noise, that'd be amazing.
What date is it?
2022.
Ethan.
Who's Ethan? I don't know who Ethan is. Could you tell us who Ethan is?
Living room.
Living room.
We are in the living room.
We are in the living room.
Yes, but there's no Ethan here. I don't know who Ethan is.
Maybe it's not in hers. Because you know how the other ones were saying they were random, like, other names that weren't listed in anything. Maybe they were friends and family witnessing it, but they weren't listed in it. Was Ethan a witness?
Oh, yeah, like in the courtroom.
Yeah, like in the room.
How did I die? Are you from here?
How did I die?
No, but one of my ancestors was from there. That's how we're connected. And I'm sorry he found you guilty. I apologize for that.
She asked how did she die?
She already said she was hung and her throat. She could feel it on her throat, remember?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I want to know who is Ethan. Can you explain who Ethan is? Can't see any Ethan in your story. There's nothing about it, Ethan.
Could you explain?
Leave.
All right, we'll stop recording now. You can go. Thank you for talking to us. We respect your and honor your memory. Okay, so this is for the Salem Witch Trials. Which candle are you pulled towards first? We're going to light this candle during your reading and honor their memory. Hibiscus and apple. Apple and cinnamon. This is group 1. Let me smell it. What it smells more like. The cinnamon is very, very strong in this. Hibiscus and apple. Apple and cinnamon. Group 1 that was. Group 2 is marigold and vanilla. Pear and vanilla. The vanilla is very prominent in this one. So marigold and vanilla, group 2. And group 3, pansy and berries. Blueberry and blackberry. It smells very sweet and very berry scented. So, group 1, hibiscus and apple. Group 2, marigold and vanilla. Group 3, pansy and berry. What jumps out at you? What do you want to honor the Salem witches with? And we will be saying a little prayer before each group. And what jumps out at you? What attracts you? Remember, this is how your story relates to theirs. And we will be giving a reading and advice with our tarot cards. 1, 2, or 3. Hello, group 1. Welcome to your reading about your story regarding the Salem Witch Trials and how is it relevant to your life today. We do not know what message is going to come out. It could be relevant to the similar situation of the Salem Witch Trials or something totally different. I'm going to let the cards tell the story and then I will obviously pinpoint how it fits in with the Salem Witch Trials. But we start off today with honoring the witches. Sorry, I should not call them witches. I do apologize. Honoring the people that were put to death, remembering their lives that they lived, the sacrifices they gave, and they weren't even done for rich. They weren't even witchcraft. They weren't even witches. I can't even speak today. I feel like there's a situation going on in your life that is actually stopping you from speaking, and that is a lot like the Salem Witch Trials because they couldn't speak. They couldn't have a voice. They told their truth and they still weren't heard. I wonder if this ties in with something or a situation you're going through. Also, please do me a favor and go and watch the introduction of this video. There is an interesting history about how the Salem witchcraft fits in with the women in today's society. There is also a story about my ancestor which led me to be doing this video. And also my stepdaughter and I were doing a ghost troop session because I am getting into paranormal investigations, and Rebecca Nurse, one of the witnesses, actually came through and channeled with us, so that was really interesting too. But that's enough talking from me. Even though I can't talk at this point in time, I feel like my throat chakra is blocked and you can't be heard or you can't express yourself properly. So I'm interested to see which way your reading goes. Let's have a look. We open with the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is all about emotional fulfillment. She has her SHIT together. She has her well together. Emotionally, she is balanced. And emotionally, she has her stuff together. So it tells me that you're very put together. Emotionally, you're very mature and strong. So I wonder why you can't be heard, because I still think it's about not being heard for you, because and it's funny that I say you have your emotional balance here, because Temperance is here as well as the Queen of Cups. So you are very balanced when it comes to your emotional life. So what's going on with you? Why can't you speak? Why is this communication blocked? What is happening in your world? Because it seems like we're opening to some really good cards here. Queen of Cups, Temperance, and Knight of Pentacles. I will go on to clarify these cards because you are opening by telling a beautiful story. Knight of Pentacles obviously is here. He's the oldest and wisest and slowest, mind you, knight in the deck. So it feels like you are still working towards some sort of stability within your life. It may be towards finances or money or career. But emotionally you're really invested, or emotionally you've got your stuff together. They're really positive cards opening up with, but I do still get the feeling that your voice cannot be heard. So, oh, look at those cards that came out, wanted to come out straight away. They're not coming out. All right, let's get you some more cards. Can we please go on to group 1 and let them know what else is to their story, because they're opening up very strongly. Like a hell of a lot was wrong. They have their stuff together. Let's find out what else is going on for you. Can I please clarify the Queen of Cups? Again, strong energy there. Can we clarify Temperance, please? It's really weird. It's not usually that I am open with, you know, such good circumstances and cards, but you are opening very strong. Okay. Okay. Oh, change is happening or has happened. Right, got you. And can we clarify the Knight of Pentacles? All right, so this is telling me this does have something to do with your finances, career, stability, family life. Could have to do with a partner as well. There's a lot that's come out to be clarified, but they are still very, very positive, okay? Let me talk you through these. So to clarify the Queen of Cups, we have the Knight of Wands and the Empress. So you are a boss. I feel like you are self-employed, or, you know, even if you're just a stay-at-home mum or dad, you are the boss. You are in charge of that situation. You have the situation in control, down pat. You know what you're doing, and you're a very strong leader, okay? And you could be a mother. This could be talking about motherhood. It talks about you taking action towards your field that you're working in, and you're very, very strong and passionate about the work that you do. Again, even if it is a stay-at-home parent, you are passionate about that. But chaos has come into your life in some form or another. You're feeling trapped. I feel like you want more from your life, and you don't know how to go about it. You feel stuck. I feel like you're in a beautiful place when it comes to your home life. You have your shit together. Emotionally, you're fulfilled. Emotionally, you're in control. You're taking action towards your situation and being in control. But then we have Temperance here, which is the Eight of Swords energy. You're feeling trapped in some sense. So I feel like you're trapped. You want some change to happen in your life, and you're feeling trapped and you don't know how to go about it, okay? You are in a beautiful, balanced state, as I've already said. And it's like your life's perfect, and I don't know why it keeps coming up as your life is absolutely perfect, but you're wanting change. You're bored. You are bored with the situation you have at home. You are bored with your home life. So you want this disruption. You're trying to cause your own tower moment to happen in your life. Maybe some of you are even wanting more alone time. You're wanting to be single. You're wanting to go and encompass the energy of the Hermit, because the Hermit is all about self-discovery, his own journey, and going forward in his life to discover new things. You're kind of encompassing the hermit energy. You're wanting to be alone. You're craving to be alone. Maybe you're surrounded by kids and husband 24/7 and you're just craving alone time. You are in fact feeling trapped and you want this alone time to venture out, and you are creating your own tower moment in this sense, because your life's perfect. Anyone looking in on your life would think their life is perfect. Why would you want to change that? You are bored. You want alone time. You want to go out and delve into your passions and start your life anew. When it comes to these passions that you've maybe even put aside to be a homemaker or a housewife, or you're in a job where you're just doing it to have your needs met, but you really have this burning passion on the side that you want to do. So you are creating your own tower moment. And again, it keeps coming up that you're being seen but not heard. Do you have a great idea? Are you not actioning it? What is going on? Seen and not heard, just like the Salem witches. So I should stop calling them witches, because they are not witches. They were just ordinary people living beyond the poverty line and not conforming to the normal society of the time. So that is where they got put to death, because they couldn't, they spoke their truths and they weren't heard. I feel like this is the same kind of energy you're in. You have a great idea. You have a vision in your life that you want to, or where your life wants to be and where you want to take your life. And you have the Emperor and Empress. So you do have a divine counterpart as well when it comes to love. But you could be placing your career or finances as that love in your life as well, because Emperor and Empress are here. You are boss. You are it and a bit. That's what I mean. Your life looks perfect, but you have this great idea and it's not coming to fruition for you. Maybe you're putting on a false persona as well. You have this great life. Like 10 of Pentacles is like the ultimate when it comes to family, just like the 10 of Cups. You have money, you have the house, you have the family, you have everything you want, but you're still not happy. So why aren't you happy when you have, it seems like, everything that a person could want to make them have to make them happy? It feels like you're encompassing childhood wounds. You've got childhood wounds here you haven't healed. You have, this great idea again. Look at that little child yelling. You have a great idea, but you're not being heard. This is what it keeps coming back to. Something you want to do in your life that you know will ultimately make you happy, because the sun is here. You know that whatever road you're on will lead you to your happiness. But it's not coming to fruition. Something is stopping you. There is a blockage here and we don't know what that is. So now we're going to look into trying to find out what that blockage is for you, clarifying this reading. We've pinpointed that everything looks great on the surface, but really it's not. You're still not happy, even though you have like the white picket fence life like it could be. What's going on? What's stopping you? So something needs to end here. 10 of Voices is here. 10 of Voices talks about complete endings and brand new renewals. But what needs to end? Does your way of thinking need to end? Because Voices actually talks about the way we think, the way we speak, the way we carry ourselves. Voices as swords represents the suit of swords, and it's all about the way we think. So I think the way you think needs to change in this point of view. You need to think about how you're approaching the situation, how you're keeping yourself and limiting yourself from being seen and heard, and how you're not putting yourself first and following your truth first and foremost. You need to have this kind of justice moment with yourself, and I feel like it is just simply yourself holding yourself back. You need to have this new rebirth, this new revision. You need to sit down and have a real good chat with yourself, because you are not happy. And even though it appears on the surface that you are completely happy and put together, you simply are not. And your justice moment is waiting to happen. Sit down, write down what you want in life. How can you reach that point of where you want to be in life? How can you reach your end goal, your destination? This is what's stopping you from being completely fulfilled and happy, because I feel like every other area of your life is perfect, but except for this vision you have of where you want your life to be. And I think it has a lot to do with a passion, a side hobby, your career, I think it has to do with this kind of thing. Nothing to do with the family, because family is represented that it's quite happy and stable here. It has to do with your personal growth, business, side hobby, something that really brings you passion and joy. It is not making you happy, and it's affecting every single area of your life when it shouldn't be. You want this new happiness. You want this new, you want your vision to encompass your life. You want to be completely happy, and you're holding yourself back from your passion, from your true desires, from your true worth. Again, you need to get real with yourself in order to have this rebirth of emotional commitment to yourself. And again, it shows you have great control, because you do have the Queen of Cups there. You did open with her, and it said that you're very balanced when it comes to your emotion. But emotionally, you're not fulfilled. You are fulfilled in every area of your life except for when it comes to this certain situation. And Ace of Emotion is here saying there will be a rebirth of this situation. There will be a rebirth of your emotional state, but you have to follow the steps, follow the process first in order to reach this emotional fulfillment within yourself. But once you do, once you delve into the Ten of Voices and change the way you think and address the situation and address what's stopping you from moving forward within your career. And again, I do think it is all about career for you guys. Once you identify the roadblocks as such of what's stopping you from moving forward and letting your voice be heard. Remember, I opened your reading and I said your voices are being heard. You feel like you can't communicate. I think that communication is even come down to communicating with yourself, speaking your truth, being true with yourself about what you truly want in your life, and enabling yourself and giving yourself the instructions and a roadmap to enable yourself to build the life that you want to live. Even though every area of your life's amazing, this is what's stopping you from having your true happiness and fulfillment. But once you do all these steps, new emotional fulfillment comes in for you, and a celebration is here as well. Three of Emotions is here, talks about celebrations, gathering together, and success for what you have actually put into play, and celebrating the hard work that you have and the achievements that you've put into play to achieve your goals and this new emotional state that you'll be living in. It's very positive once you have sat down and got real with yourself and identified the problems holding you back, because this is what's holding you back from fulfilling your dreams. And I feel like it is a dream. You feel like it is always going to be a dream and never come to fruition for you. And it makes you really sad, but it is taking over your life, and that's not a very healthy place to be in. So hopefully you can follow these steps and start putting your career first and start putting your goals first, and really getting true with yourself and identifying what you want in your life and how you can make that happen, because you're feeling trapped, you're feeling vulnerable, you're feeling like you don't know how to take the steps and take the lead in your life as such, and make your dreams come true. All right, let's get you some more cards. So now we've identified the problem. Let's try and get you some more solutions beyond what we have already done. Okay, let's get you some more cards. Oh, thank you. Can we get you some more cards, please? Oh, there's a lot that came out then. We'll take that one. And I want to get you some Lenormand Destiny cards. Whoa, did you see all them play out? That's too many. We will reshuffle. That was way too many. I feel like I need to sage. I need to sage this area because lots of energy has come through here. And I feel like you're in the same instance and you need to sage. What do we have here for you? We have Claw. Be careful. Do not take risks. Ooh. This is the energy you're currently in. This is amazing that this has come out for you, because this is what you're embodying. You're putting everything first beyond your own wants, needs, and desires. Your family's coming first. Your needs of your partner and children are coming first. And you're putting your sideline on hold. You're doing and acting from a place which actually is not making you happy and fulfilled. and you're not taking risks, and it's saying be careful, do not take risks, and that's what you keep saying to yourself. That is very interesting that that's come out, because this is where we opened with the clarifying cards, 10 of voices. The way you speak to yourself needs to change, and you're currently telling yourself, do not take risks. Don't follow your dreams. Don't follow your passions. You can't afford it. You can't do it. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? It's a nightmare in your own head. So this is the energy that's conflicting here. You not taking risks, you not even taking the steps to achieve your goals is what is holding you back. That is amazing that it came out as a clarifier there. Mule. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Can this get any more clearer, group 1? You're not taking the risk to change. You're not changing. You're not changing the way you speak. And this is what the whole reading is about. Changing the way you speak and treat yourself and tackle the situation head on. You're being stubborn. You're staying in your old ways. You're not taking risks. You're not taking the steps forward that you need to make your dreams come true. That is amazing. You are holding yourself back. Goldfish, increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. So it's saying, and it's interesting, look at the beautiful colors. This is my Destiny Little Norman deck. And the butterfly was one of the cards that fell out. Remember when they all fell out in a group? The butterfly was one of them that fell out in the group. And I thought, I wonder if that's their card. I should take that. And I didn't. I put it back in the deck and I reshuffled. And it came out again for you as a clarifier. And look, it matches the goldfish beautifully. So just know, once you really, I feel like you need a break, and some really rest and relaxation is needed first and foremost, yes. Once you sit down and reanalyze the way you're going about things in your life and the way you are actually focusing and approaching the situation, and sit down and go through your justice moment and let justice be heard, things will start to change. Increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. I feel like in this situation, if you're working in the spiritual field, your spiritual business will grow. If you're focused on working for someone else and, bringing money in, that will actually grow as well. So it feels like you can't have both. You can have one or the other. You can have spiritual growth or you can have material growth. And the transformation will take off after you've sat down and got real with yourself and chosen what field you want to be in. Maybe this is very similar to the situation I'm going through at the moment. I really want to do spirituality full time, yes, but my root chakra is off balance because the 3D world we're living in keeps pulling me back in, because you need money to survive, have children, bills, house, all of that, and it overwhelms me a lot. And I am working in a job where I'm working simply just for the money to survive, to add things to my spiritual world, pour into my business as such. And it is not making me happy. So it feels like I need to take the risk and leave that job and put 100% into my spiritual business. I've been wanting to film this pick a card all week, but I couldn't because I was working all week. So it's kind of like the universe is putting you in judgment position. It's like, do you want to do this? It's like a test. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that? That's the risk you've got to take. But fear is holding you back because you need the money. You need the income to live. So you've got to try and find a balance within that situation, and you've got to find the balance to let go of your fears. And I know it's easier said than done because it's still holding me back. So it's like, take your own advice, but live your own life. It's very, very hard. So if you're going through the same situation that I'm going in, I get you 100%, because it's exactly what I'm going through. And it is extremely hard to let go of something that is giving you stability, So very similar situation. It's either one road or another. It feels like you're at a crossroads. I'm at a crossroads, and you need to pick a road and stick to it. Commit to it and stick to it. All right, I want to get you some final advice on your reading, because it has been a beautiful reading, and it does, 100% match in with the Salem witches, because, again, I'm calling them witches, and I shouldn't, because they were unheard. They couldn't be heard. and neither can you. You're not speaking your truth. You're not living your truth. You're not following your destiny, where every part of your life is okay, and this one thing is taking over your whole life and making you unhappy. Wow, let's try and also, before I jump into your advice, let's go ahead and get you, see, for those of you that are on the spiritual side of things, let's get you, I pulled up my spirituality deck. I'm like, I'm going to, because before I prepare for these picker cards, I actually sit there and I, you know, pull out the decks that I actually feel drawn to. And I'm like, okay, someone needs a spiritual message in this. So if you are on a spiritual journey to increase your spiritual business, please go ahead and watch this bit. If not, that's fine. Just press the fast forward bit on this for 10 seconds. And you can, it might relate to you astrologically as well. Listen to your heart. Look, you are being told. Listen to your heart, and astrology is here. How beautiful. So for some of you, you maybe want to go get a birth chart done, an astrological chart done, and see where you're creatively pulled. For some of you, it comes down to simply listening to your heart and following your heart's advice over your head's advice. Stop listening to your head and just follow your passion, live your passion, and it's going to be successful. Give in to the divine, listen to your heart, and let it lead you. How beautiful is that? I'm glad I pulled those cards out for a reason. Now, from my priestess, the blonde priestess deck, and my talking to the moon deck, we have your final advice. We have the air priestess. She has control of the air. She can cause you to have cloudy judgment and not take any action towards a situation. The hermit of the priestess world. So you've got hermit twice. Remember, you got hermit here as well. So again, you're the only one stopping you from moving forward in this. You are pausing your spiritual life or whatever business you want to pour yourself into. You and only you are putting yourself on hold and not jumping into it head first. I'll read that out again because these words actually stood out really loud and clear. She can cause you to have cloudy judgment and not take any action towards your situation. That is what's holding you back. Cloudy judgment, the what ifs, the how do I make money, how do I pay for my family, those sorts of things are holding you back. Again, things you need to address with yourself and only yourself. And then we've got the worm moon, signifies the last moon for the first quarter of the year. This is a transition period. It's a period of new beginnings. It's the first 3 months of the new year and a time to be clear on your intentions and goals for the year. So again, intention settings. Letting go of the fear factor of I can't, what if. Letting go, moving forward, and allowing what's meant to be. Allowing your justice to be heard, to be had, and releasing your fear to the universe. Now, this is beautiful advice. I'm hoping you really are liking this reading because I am liking it as well. It is giving me, I tend to kind of counsel myself through my own readings as well. So it's a beautiful wake-up call for me as well. The air priestess, the worm moon, and then from my When the Lion Roars deck, final advice coming out now. Oh, that just flew out. Did you see that? I hope you witnessed that and saw that fly out. You know the lion is dangerous when it is quiet, stalking, sneaking up on its prey. Only after it has ambushed and killed its prey does the lion roar. It wants to intimidate the jackals. There you go. I think this sums up your reading beautifully. And how does it relate to the women and men and animals that were put to death in the Salem Witch Trials? They couldn't hear their voice. They couldn't share their voice. They couldn't speak their truth. You are holding your back from living your truth. Your true destiny, your desires are not being met or shown or followed. You're holding yourself back from your true path, and you need to, this whole reading is urging you to get on with your true path and follow your destiny and really allow yourself to be free, to be the creative artist that you want to be. Stop being, shackled by your own inferiority and allow yourself to delve into the world you want to live in and the person that you want to become and be. because then and only then will you truly be happy, and will you be 100% authentically living and being your true self. And watch your world transform when you're being your true authentic self and allowing yourself to flow freely and authentically. This has been your beautiful reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it or not and how it relates to you. Take care. Bye. Hello group 2, and welcome to your reading about the Salem Witch Trials and how they relate to your life now. Now, I do not know what story is going to come out, what you need to hear. Hopefully it can relate back to the Salem Witch Trials. But again, it's your story and the cards are going to tell it. So it's what you need to hear at this point in time. Please do me a favor and go and watch the introduction of this video. Even just to educate yourself about the Salem Witch Trials is amazing. And also what led me to create this pick a card video today about my ancestor being involved in the Salem Witch Trials and bringing honor to their memory and shedding light on how they relate to today's society as well. Very interesting. We also had an interview, a ghost interview with one of the witnesses, Rebecca Nurse. So go ahead and watch all that. It's very, very interesting. Now, how does this relate to you today? Very interesting because justice came out for group 2 as well. 8 of Wands, King of Cups, and 7 of Pentacles. Interesting. So a situation has been put to an end, clearly here. I feel like it could have even, this card, when a justice card comes out, it even talks about, court situations. It could even just be karmic situations. It's very funny. It's drawing to me too. When I get my visions, they're like a whole movie plays out in my mind in 2.5 seconds or whatever it is. And that's what happened there. And it showed me my story of why I was channeling this reading to begin with. Now, that was to actually clear the ancestral karma that my ancestor had done and created. He was a judge on the Salem Witch Trials and put a lot of people to death. So this is my way of kind of clearing that karma that my ancestor had created or generated, and also helping to share and clear that karma. So maybe it goes as far as you having a ancestor that goes back to the Salem Witch Trials as well. Maybe you're from the ancestral line, good or bad. It doesn't matter. Maybe you generated karma as well. But again, it doesn't have to be specifically for that situation. It's just identifying that it's like that situation. So this again could be speaking about some ancestral trauma that you have endured throughout your life, or even personal or past life trauma or karma that needs to be cleared up for you as well. This is how this reading directly relates to the Salem Witch Trials. It is about clearing ancestral, past life or personal karma that has happened in your life, because the Justice card is also about clearing that karma and being okay with yourself. So whatever you're doing in your life, you may be doing your own healing journey, acknowledgement, whatever you're doing is working, keep going. The universe is noticing that it's happening for you, and you're clearing that generational, ancestral or past life trauma that you have generated, okay? You're noticing fast changes happening in your world. 8 of Wands is here. This talks about speed, change in situation, communication, maybe even, just your whole world is changing and bringing this new emotional fulfillment with it. This is really refreshing reading. I want to say you must be sitting in a time of feeling really refreshed and emotionally refreshed when it comes to emotions, because the King of Cups is all about, emotional stability, having his life on track, where he wants to go. He's at the commander, like the director of his ship, the captain of his ship, and he knows where he wants to go. This is what I'm feeling is happening for you in your world, because you're at the helm of your ship and you know what you want to go and where you're going and where you're taking your life. And this has taken you quite some time to get here, and it's a lot of personal growth, as we see in the 7 of Pentacles. It's all about pouring the hard work into you, your life and your situation, and where you've taken your life and where it's at the moment. I want to say it's at the precipice of becoming something amazing and leading somewhere amazing, because we open with such beautiful, beautiful cards, and it just gets better and better because justice is here. You're doing the work, you're acknowledging the work, you're acknowledging what's happened and accepting and healing and changing the situation, and you're doing it quite fast, and it's impacting your life at quite a fast pace as well, bringing in this beautiful emotional maturity. You're even as going as far as changing the way you react. Your reactions and your energy towards situation and people are changing as well. Maybe you had anger issues and used to snap and punch holes in walls. Now there's a complete 180 of that situation, and you're calm and you think before you act. That's the kind of rationality that we're speaking. Extreme, extreme, extreme. You've put a lot of work. Some of you, this will not be for all of you. Some of you have actually gone to rehab and changed the way that you've you were using substances or were dependent on something or a situation, or even as a person, you were obsessed with somebody. You've changed your whole persona. That's not for everyone. That's just an extreme example, but that did come across my mind, so I did have to say that. But it's amazing the work you've done to yourself, on your own character and being, and the universe is acknowledging that for you. So I just want to get some more clarity on these cards because it is a very positive reading, and I'm glad that they're actually coming out now and showing how it relates to, because for the reading one I had to try and pull out how it relates to the Salem Witch Trials, because that's what the theme of this reading is. But yours opens straight away and tells me what it's about, and that's clearing that karma that you've caused in your own life, and inducing that personal growth for yourself, which is beautiful. It is very strong. It is very empowering to your character, to your being. All right. Oh, look how that card's just landed there. Look at that. I love it when the cards do that. So I'm going to take them. Okay, what have we got here? So to carry on your story, we've got 9 of Pentacles reversed. We have 10 of Voices, telling me all about this ending that's taken place. We have the Star. We have the Knight of Materials. And we have the High Priestess. Love this for you. So what this is telling me is, again, maybe some of you were even very materialistic in your past and were all about the money and the bling and the show-off lifestyle. But this is reversed. So this is telling me that you've, again, changed your whole character and persona. And material wealth and the 3D world are no longer of interest for you. Material possessions are no longer of interest for you, which it's very hard, and I'm still dealing with on my personal journey because I'm stuck in this unbalanced 3D root chakra world, which I'm trying to pull myself out of. But you've successfully done it. So if you've successfully done it, give me some tips on how you're doing it, because, again, it's all about personal journeys, and it's showing me that you've actually done it, okay? You've put an end to the way you lived your life completely before. 10 of Voices is about endings, complete endings and new beginnings to your life. And look, you have shed the way you lived your old life. Those insecurities, the way you lived, that fear-based projection living has gone, and you've done a complete 180 on your life. You've always had hope about this, about the change that you wanted to bring. This is all about your personal growth and karma and shedding of the old layers of the skin that you were once living in. You've known that you've always had greatness waiting out there for you. And again, you're just happy. You're simple. You're happy living a simple, peaceful life. And that seems like it's enough for you. Before, you wanted to strive and have this, great wealth and this great life and, keep up with the Joneses. And now you're just happy living a simple, peaceful life. It's quite refreshing. And I think you've always had hope that this was the kind of lifestyle that you'd, delve into and live. And now you're currently starting to live it. And it is a beautiful, peaceful time in your life. You have gone through tremendous growth. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Materials in this deck is the oldest, wisest, and slowest moving knight in the deck. And look how much growth you've done. Look at his beautiful headpiece. You are represented as the beautiful rose. And the growth around you and the growth that you've done on your own being is absolutely stunning. And it's represented here as it's taken you quite a long time to do this, and you have been led by your intuition in this transformation to get to this point in time, and it has been a beautiful journey indeed. The start of it was quite hard, the acceptance part of it, admitting your flaws, admitting your insecurities, admitting your fear was all very hard, but that's where the justice came in, and you tackled and delve headfirst into the hard work and the changes and admittance of the changes that you needed to take to transform your character and get to this place of living a more peaceful, happy life of solitude. And you're finally there. So again, this is acknowledging the hard work you've done, the journey you've gone through, the journey you've that has transformed your soul. The person that you've actually become now is what you've always wanted to be. So this is kind of a like congratulations from the universe. You've done it. You've transformed your being. If you're at the start of your journey, it's saying it will be successful, and this is what you're transforming your character into. And take your time. Be gentle with it. Did you just see all those cards that just flew out then? Wow. Some of you are just starting your journey, and it is very emotional for you. It is very hard, okay? Just know this reading is assurance that you will get through it. You do have karma or trauma to heal from the past. May not even be your own. Maybe ancestral, past life, or personal trauma. It is one of the three, so just take it as it resonates and know that if you're at the start of your journey, that you can get through this, and you will get through this, okay? All right, let's carry on with your reading and advice. All right, I'm going to take two of... Oh, there was three there anyway. I wanted three, and I was going to do two, but three ended up coming out. And I want to get you a Destiny Normand reading card as well, about your destiny, about your path that you're meant to be on. Oh, that flipped over fast. Beautiful. Okay, let's talk. So we've got throne, archway, needle and thread. So throne talks about position of authority. Needle and thread talks about a sincere wish will be granted. And archway talks about new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. Very positive cards. And we've also got here you. Look, you're solely focused on you now. You are the star of your own life. And look at the wishes she wants. She's following her dreams. Again, saying you're the captain of your own ship. You're taking your life where you want it to go and blossom to where you want to go. Lots of references to blossoming flowers. See, from the picture there of the Knight of Pentacles with his blossoming headdress. And there again, blossoming flowers. More roses here. You're just about to blossom into something great. And the focus that you have now on your life is amazing. So it's saying you're on the right path. And again, even if you're starting your own journey, you're going to get to this path of greatness, this, self-focus, self-love, this journey. It's all about you at this point in time and no one else. And you need to keep going whenever you find yourself at a crossroads or at a place of uncertainty or not knowing where to go. Come back to the power of you, your intuition. You're being led by your high priestess. She is there. So this card should be over here, because this is all about you and your journey and being led by your divine feminine, your inner priestess, your high priestess, and they are showing the way. They will not lead you astray. Position of authority. This is your life is going to transform. A wish will be granted. And new opportunities. So again, whether you're starting your journey or you're at the end of your journey, whatever place you are in your journey of transformation and change, know that you are on the right path. There is no right or wrong. You are going to discover mistakes along the way, and you and only you can direct your life and the way that it's going. Okay. Let's get you some more advice. All right. Oh, that flipped out so fast. This is from my Blonde Priestesses deck. And I wanted to get you a Talking to the Moon card. Okay. Oh, this is exactly what group 1 got. I wonder why you're getting the same cards. if you felt pulled to group 1, go ahead and watch that reading as well, because there's a lot of references to group 1 as well throughout this reading. A lot of similar cards. That's why I staged in between, because I wanted to get completely different reading. It is completely different context, but some of the similar cards are similar, okay? Let's go ahead and get you some spirituality cards as well for my spirituality deck. Just some extra advice for you. I want to give you as much advice as we can. But it is beautiful that you've identified this karma, this transformation that needs to take place, and you're addressing it and doing the work on yourself. The universe is acknowledging that work and rewarding you with these big changes, with this good karma all at once. It's like a transformation turning point. And they keep bringing me back to, even if you're at the start of your journey, know that the great things are awaiting your life. Know that great transformations are waiting to happen. And that is all within your personal character as well. Oh, look at the bottom of the deck. Angels are helping you. I just say this is extra advice, and angels are helping you, and listen to your heart. That's beautiful. Beautiful. But here, remember I kept saying this is about karma, and it could be ancestral, past life, or personal. So past life has come up. So definitely this is relating to past life karma that you've been through. So maybe discover what your past lives are, and know that you are actually clearing up some karma or a karmic event that happened from your past life now into your personal life, and transcending that energy into something new. It's like transformation. It's beautiful energy. That's trauma from the past, karma from the past, and it's being addressed now in the present, in your life now. Even if you may not know about it, you're transforming it now in your personal life, and it is creating something new for you. Reiki and yoga, so energy healing is very important for you during your journey as well. So maybe look down those paths as well as healing methods as well, especially if you're starting your journey anew. So what else do we have here? Worm moon signifies the last quarter of the year. This is a transitional period. Wow, we've been speaking about transitional periods the whole time that we've been doing your reading. So that's beautiful confirmation there. It's a period of new beginnings. It's the first 3 months of the new year, and a time to be clear on your intentions and goals for the year. So again, intention setting is important for you. Staying on track, continuing to focus on you and you alone and your journey and where you want to take your life is very important for you, because it's about shedding those old layers of skin and really focusing on your path ahead, where you want to take your life, and especially your personal character and the way you respond to situations and people. Pouring your energy where it's needed to be poured, and don't give, time of day to anything that doesn't resonate with your vibrational being. That is the best advice I can give you from that card. And we've got the resilient priestess. She is able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. She is able to recoil or spring back into shape after bending, stretching, or being compressed. Again, you're resilient. You're going to be still faced with situations that you are uncomfortable with, and that is the universe's way of testing you to see whether you'll slip back into old behavioral patterns. And you won't. It's saying you won't, because you've learned the lessons. You're clearing that karma, that past life karma, that personal karma, that trauma that's happened to you. And now you've learned from those situations, and you will respond differently. You will respond accordingly. And again, remember I gave the example of having anger issues and not hitting the wall anymore, and just thinking about your actions and responding accordingly. It's saying you've learned the lessons, the karma that has been wiped, clean slate, and your personal character now is a completely different person. It's going to be go so far as to say some people will be completely shocked about the character that you now carry yourself with, the way you carry your life, the way you represent, completely different. And again, why do they keep bringing me back to some of you are on your start of your personal journey? Maybe some of you are starting this journey, and you are in a time of, asking questions. Is this the right path for me? Should I keep going? 100% keep going. Face your demons head on. Know that the transformation in that is waiting is beautiful and life transforming for you, and you need to soldier on. Look at this beautiful energy that awaits the transformation in character. It is amazing. So keep going. Keep going. If you're just beginning, keep going, okay? This is your final piece of advice from When the Lion Roars deck. Ooh, group 1 just actually sprang out across the bloody page. But let's have a look at your final piece of advice. Every dog is a lion at home. That's beautiful. Every dog is a lion at home. So this simply means guard what is precious to you. Guard what you think is important. Take care of you. Take care, honor your temple. Do not let anything that is not on your vibrational frequency, as we've already said, interfere with your life. It is very important to keep going. Stay firm with the character that you've developed with the new you. Don't let past situations or past people or character traits slip back into the norm, the new for you. It's all about you and the life you're living now, and you need to guard and protect that because it's taken you a lot of work to get there to where you are in life now. So keep going, protect your new character, keep living your authentic true life, and always be yourself, but guard it 100%, okay? Wow, group 2, that is it felt like it went really, really fast, your reading, but it flowed and it was absolutely amazing and beautiful to do. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about your reading, and I hope to read for you soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, group 3, and welcome to your reading about the Salem Witch Trials and how they actually impact your life today. What we're trying to do here is find out what your story is, what story needs to be told about your life by the tarot, and how it relates to the women of Salem, or simply what the women of Salem want to tell about your story right now. Look at those pile of cards that just came out. The moon is there. Look how beautiful she is. You are being led. I'm going to take that one card and that one card alone, and we're going to take her. She is absolutely stunning. Let's find out how they relate. Also, please come and watch the introduction of this video. It explains why I'm doing this video, about my ancestor, what led me to do this video. We also have a interview or recording with Rebecca Nurse, one of the Salem Witch Trial ladies put to death. And it also tells a bit about how the Salem Witch Trials also acts within today's society as well, how we project those insecurities from the 1600s on the women of today as well, the insecurities. Are they the only cards that want to come out? We've got 3. No, there's some more there. Thank you, universe. So again, we open up with, you guys aren't going through a very good time at the moment, are you? I think you're being led by the spirits of the women of the Salem Witch Trials. The moon is here. It is very deceptive. The wolves are there. Like them, they had no say over their lives. They had no control over their lives. They were poor and they were scrutinized for being poor and not conforming to the times of the era. You are being put in the same category of this as these women, as these men, as these animals that were put to death. You have been cast upon, foreshadowed. Your life has gone through some bad experiences that were not your own fault. And I think you're still judged by today's standards because of these situations that you went through. Something happened to you in your past and it keeps bringing up today, or keeps coming up today in your future. What has happened that has, you're still being labelled as such. And it's not fair at all. You want to cut this out. Page of Swords is here. You don't want to be living or be labelled anymore. And it is controlling your life in a sense. You're being labelled and put in category because situations happened in the past that were out of your control. They left you feeling alone, frozen, and unwanted. which is really not fair. It is a really unfair situation that you're going through, and one that doesn't feel very nice to be in. You've lost all hope. The star is there, but it's reversed. It feels like you've lost all hope, and you don't know where to go to or turn to for advice. You feel frozen, and it's simply not fair. But there is hope here. Trust me, there is hope here. Celebration is to be had. The past will be healed and will not control your life anymore. You will gain control of your life once again. And that is categorized here by the Three of Cups. So just know, even though you're still being labeled and controlled by your past, you will eventually overcome this, and hope will return to your life, and you will gain control once again. I feel like maybe even a friendship circle will be reinitiated in your life as well. You may have contact with someone new from the past, and they will start initiating this healing process, because I feel like you're all alone in the world and you feel very alone and abandoned, and you feel like you have nobody. You feel like you've been shunned in a sense, because just like the women of the Salem Witch Trials, they were shunned and put to death. You feel like you're shunned and alone, and you don't have anyone to turn to when it comes to help in your situation. But let's get some more cards, some more advice, some more clarity. The good news here is that just like those women, they were shunned and put to death, and you are shunned and still labelled from your past. And it really isn't fair to your character still that you're living with now, to be judged by the past, to be shunned by those around you. I feel like you've gone through hell and back. Your emotions are all over the place. That's how this feels. This is very extreme. Yeah, heartbreak is there. I'm not surprised heartbreak has not come out, because it has come out. I want one more card, thank you. Yeah, again, Three of Cups again. So no, this is going to get better. You're not going to be stuck in this energy forever. Three of Cups on Three of Cups. Very, very beautiful healing energy. And again, depicted by true friends coming back from the past. It may not be for everybody, but for a friendship or a connection from the past is going to come in and apologize and heal that energy, that pain that you once felt from the past. It's going to make a huge transformation in your life. I want to move the position in which these cards sit, because it's clear you're in heartbreak here. All of your cards indicate heartbreak, and Three of Voices, this is you, alone, vulnerable, naked. There may have been physical or sexual assault, emotional assault that happened, and I'm apologize sincerely for what you went through. Again, this was a situation that was out of your control, and it's left you broken and feeling alone and labelled still into your teenage or adult life. Justice is and will be being served, though. I feel like it's taken a long time for those two who inflicted this upon you to be brought to justice, and it's either been a long police investigation or a long karmic investigation, but finally whoever has wronged you will be brought into light. Their justice will be brought into light, and even if it's not criminal, they will be shunned by those peers around them, and their life is going to go through hell. So this is where this karmic balance comes in, this transformation comes in. So this is very similar to Group 2's reading as well. So maybe go and watch that reading after this one as well if you feel called to. This is about karmic revenge as well. And the witches of Salem are lighting your path, leading you as well, lighting the way to tell you that justice is coming. If it hasn't yet, it will be coming and it will be served. And maybe it's not even friends from the past. Maybe it is these witches from the past. They may be your ancestors, or just seeing the injustice that has been done to you, that was done to them as well. And they see you as the innocent victim that you are. And they're leading and lighting the way for you to find your strength, the way back to your strength, and the way and lighting the path forward so you can feel strong enough to face the karma that has happened to you from the past and cleansing that karma. Because we have the beautiful Nine of Emotions here. This is wish fulfillment. This is life getting back on track. This is the finding your way to your strength and back to you living your life once again. Because I feel like some of you are completely shut down. Depression rules your life. This label rules your life. And this shunning of what has happened, this situation rules your life as well. But no, there's great transformation waiting to happen, and it will happen sooner than you think. The witches of Salem are here saying, enough is enough. We are here to light your way forward, and we will be getting the justice you need in your life to take place. Let's get you some more cards. This is a beautiful reading. I am glad the witches of Salem are here, lighting the way and leading the justice, the karmic justice for you. It is a beautiful, beautiful spirit to have alongside you, fighting in your corner, because they went through it first and foremost, and they faced the worst situation that anyone could face. They were put to death. And they're saying they don't want you to go through the same situation. You have a lot of cards here. Whale, great worry over nothing. Key, successful outcome to your problems. Peacock, beware of great pride. Door, opportunities are waiting for you. And grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling. So again, this sums up your reading beautifully. You do have transformation waiting to happen. You do have that karmic cycle waiting to come to an end. And this is being led by your spirit team, by those spirits of the Salem witches. They are leading you, taking you by the hand, saying, let us in, let us help you. Great transformation awaits your life. The person that you were, or that you are now, is going to go through this great transformation. And again, I'm being told for you to go, after you've watched this reading, go and watch group 2, because that reading was all about the transformation and the character that they're turning into. So that's kind of a follow-on to this reading, which is really weird because this is like group 3 and that's group 2. But the guides are saying, go and watch group 2 after this reading, because it is the next chapter of your life. Wow, that is very interesting. That's never happened to me during a reading. They are leading the way and saying, the advice that I've just given in group 2 will be the next chapter of your life, which was a beautiful, refreshing reading that I just did. It is amazing. Once you go through this transformation, once you stop living in this victim mentality, once you stop, being in this cycle of depression and I don't want to victimize you anymore, because I feel like you've been put in victim mentality, and you've been put in, oh, when is she going to get over it, or when is this going to happen? Why do they dwell in what's happened to them for quite a long time, which is victim mentality. But some of you don't know how to get out of it. And I lived in this mentality for quite a long time, and it's very unhealthy. But you have help here. You have these spirit guides of the Salem Witch Trials, and I don't know which ones they are particularly. We can delve into that in a private reading if you'd like to explore that. That's fine. But you will start seeing things clearly once you have allowed yourself to open up to the healing energies that are available to you. And once you go through this deep journey that you're being ushered to go into, and you are being ushered into it, go into it alone, but nobody else. But you do have your spiritual team around you helping you. This is what I'm being urged to tell you. Community. The community that is around you is those of the Salem witches. They are there holding your hand. They are going to lead you. Oh, how interesting is this? Moon phases. So again, that moon energy, and we opened up with the moon. They are there showing you the way, showing you that you need to tackle into those dark places within yourself that make you very uncomfortable, and you need to make the sun shine and bring them to light. They may lead you to a podcast in particular that may talk about so be open to receiving new, and they will do that on your vision obviously, by your vision, by your eyes. So they will send you messages among your social media scrolling, like a friend referral, YouTube, something like that. A podcast will pop up out of the norm. So keep an eye open for that, because that is the spirits of the Salem Witch Trials leading you to the healing, or something that will help aid you in your healing journey, okay? Let's get you some more advice. I am drawn to my Lenormand deck. Like they're saying, pull more cards out of that one. So I will pull more cards out of this one that I've been told to pull from. There isn't an extra message for you there. Oh, beautiful. This is like I'm a very visual reader. So this is my visual Lenormand deck about your destiny, what awaits you. So this is my visual deck, and it's saying life is awaiting to transform you. Look at that. Playfulness awaits you. New love connection awaits you. A new soulmate connection awaits for you. A beautiful, new relationship with yourself awaits you. Romanticizing, dates with yourself, fun with yourself. This all awaits you once you allow the transformations to start happening and allowing to face those demons and for your life to transform. You have so much beauty awaiting you, but you've got to be open to doing the work. This is the message that's coming through. Very strong, very loud and clear for you, group 3, okay? But you have been told you have 2 readings, so you do need to go and watch group 2's reading after this, okay? All right, what do we have here from my Blonde Priestess deck and my Talking to the Moon deck? Strawberry Moon. In North America, because it is served as a signal to early tribal colonies that wild strawberries were ripened and ready for harvesting. Your harvest in life is ready. Your next chapter will be amazing. Can it get any more clearer than this? Once you allow yourself to open up and tackle those dark, shadowy elements of your situation, of your life, beauty awaits you. Amazing life awaits you. You have greatness waiting for you for your next chapter. It has just been verified in the Strawberry Moon. The resilient priestess, she is able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. She is able to recoil or spring back into shape after bending, stretching, or being compressed. This is saying once you allow the process to happen, the way you present yourself and carry yourself, your character will be faced with difficult situations and triggers in the future, but you'll be able to handle it and respond accordingly and differently. This is interesting because this is the priestess that group 2 got. So again, you've got 2 readings. Whether you like it or not, you have 2 readings to watch. The Victory Priestess. She has fought in the battle, won her war. Now victory is hers. The Justice card of the Priestess world. There you go. Your justice will be served. Victory will be yours. And that is simply by allowing yourself to open up and face your demons and let your next chapter happen. You got justice twice, so that's very interesting that once you allow yourself to be vulnerable and open up to your fears and face your fears, that your next chapter will, and it's your healing chapter. It's definitely your healing chapter. Your time of transformation and transforming your true character will actually change and allow yourself to become a new you. Think of it as cocoon butterfly stage, as the snake shedding its old skin. This is what you're about to go through, and allow yourself to go through. It simply starts by allowing yourself to go through this. Very interesting reading, group 3. And your final piece of advice. Wow, this is the same card that group 2 got as well. Every dog is a lion at home. It's saying and prompting, once you transform your character, once you allow yourself to transform, simply allow yourself to be and continue to protect the person and the character and the person you've become. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Please go ahead and watch group number 2 now, because you have 2 readings and number 2 is the follow-on to this one for you. Much love, group 3. Bye.